Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. Today I wanted to do a let's talk about pregnancy video on how my pregnancy is going so far. I'm at the end of my pregnancy and I've wanted to make this video for a very long time, since my second trimester, like the beginning of my second trimester, and I knew I wanted to make this video before I give birth. So it's like, oh, I need to make this video like now because I give birth like 2 weeks. I'm currently 37 weeks pregnant, but my doctor said he would induce me at 39, and I mean, she could come before that, but we'll see. So if he induces me at 39, I have 2 weeks left. I thought this would be a really fun video to make, even just for myself, to remember what pregnancy was like, because it's such a big thing, such a big part of your life, and it's different for everyone. I do want to say this is not going to be a negative video. I feel like there's so many pregnancy videos that are so negative because I've watched them. Like, people can be very, very negative about pregnancy, and I understand that some women have it much harder than I did during pregnancy, but I think we need some positive pregnancy videos out there. So that's what I'm hoping this is going to be. Not to say that my pregnancy was a breeze, but I had a really good pregnancy so far. Who knows, maybe the next 2 weeks are going to suck. But I don't think so. So let's start off with the first trimester. I have like my notes, so if you hear like the crumbling paper, I like wrote it all down, so a long time ago. So for my first trimester, I have my symptoms. My first symptom was a sore chest. I thought it was my time of the month, but it was more intense than that, and I thought, oh my goodness, wait, I'm late. Let me take a pregnancy test. Sure enough, I was pregnant. So that was my first symptom. A sore stomach. Like right, my upper stomach hurt, and hunger. Like, those were two symptoms that kind of came hand in hand, because I think I just did not know how to eat for like being pregnant. Like, I think I ate like large meals instead of smaller meals here and there, and I did not eliminate the things I needed to. I needed to eliminate spicy food and like soda, things that irritate your stomach. So yeah, my stomach hurt every night, basically. And it was hard because I would try to go to sleep and my stomach would hurt. And I also was very stubborn and like wouldn't want to take Tums, and that probably would have helped me sleep so much. But that was something that was like my first, like, oh, this is kind of hard to fall asleep when my stomach hurts. And I've never had like stomach issues, so I was like, this is new. Burping. I burp so much, which I know is gross, but like, I'm not a person that burps, and I would burp and burp and burp, and it's just, you know, things are changing in your body. You have a lot of indigestion and like acid reflux, and you have heartburn, and burping was a part of that, and I was like, I don't like this symptom. Of course, hunger, my appetite. I've always had a good appetite, but it like got a lot stronger. Congestion has just kind of been a thing throughout the whole pregnancy. I've noticed it was worse during the beginning, but I think just congestion, which I know is normal, was just always there. Of course, being tired, and then like mixing up words, like my brain fog, my pregnancy brain definitely started in the first trimester, which was funny because I would mix up words and Tyler would be like, did you say? we would laugh about it because like I mixed up like numbers and words, and he was like, no, that doesn't make sense. I'm like, and I would tell him like, no, like this is what I said, and he's like, that's not what you said. And I'd be like, what? That's so weird that I would mix. I think I mixed up like 2 and 15, which aren't even like close. It was funny. We would laugh about everything. I mixed up like and but in a few sentences, and now it's like a joke. So I thankfully did not throw throw up a lot in my pregnancy. I feel very fortunate because like my mom threw up daily with my little brother. She had very sick pregnancies, and that's what I thought I was going to be, because it was like, well, it's, you know, my mom was always sick, I'm probably always going to be sick, and I wasn't. I threw up some, and in my first trimester, I wrote that I threw up 4 times, and it was due to burping. Like the burping would, it was like burping and coughing that would just cause me to gag. It wasn't even because I felt nauseous. I mean, I'm sure I was kind of nauseous, but I didn't feel like how I felt later on with nausea. I would like burp and that would cause me to throw up. But 4 times for the first trimester, I don't think that's very bad, because I think that's like when you're supposed to be the most nauseous is in the first trimester. That was not the case for me. I craved apples like crazy. I ate so many apples, specifically envy apples. It took me a while to figure out which apples I wanted. I didn't want them to be too sweet, too sour, and too soft. I wanted like a crunchy, I mean, envy apples are sweet, but there are sweeter apples. So it took me a while, but envy apples, I've eaten them throughout my whole pregnancy. I have a bunch in my fridge right now. So that was a good craving, because I'm not an apple person. I would choose so many other fruits over apples normally, but they were like a saving food. I knew that they wouldn't upset my stomach. They would help my stomach. They were so fresh. When you have acid reflux and like heartburn, for me, I wanted fresh food, so I would eat an apple. Orange juice, I could drink it like water. Green shakes, which is another good craving. I would crave like healthy food, in addition to unhealthy food too. Grapes, like frozen grapes, and pizza. I'm not a pizza person. Like my husband is the pizza person. I can have pizza like once a month and then like I don't want it anymore. I wanted pizza. There was like one day where I had like pizza for lunch and pizza for dinner. Like that's not me to have pizza like that. Now, aversions that I had, because they did start in the first trimester for me, was coffee, which like hurt, because I'm a coffee drinker. Like I love coffee. I love Starbucks and Dunkin' Donuts, and I didn't want to smell coffee. I didn't want to drink it, and that's very strange for me. And it almost made me sad. I was like, who am I that I don't even want coffee? But I saw it as a good thing. Like, you know, you're supposed to limit your caffeine, and I was having no caffeine. Just strong smells. Our couch. It was the weirdest thing. My couch, to me, smelled bad, and I couldn't even describe the smell, and no one else could smell it. But my sense of smell just got so strong that, I don't know, it smelled like damp, and it would make me feel sick, and I couldn't stand it. But everyone else was like, I don't smell what you're smelling. And I'd be like, smell this pillow, like, is this what smells? So it was very funny that I had like an aversion to our couch. And what I did is bought like a fabric spray for the couch, sprayed it all over the couch, and then I hated that smell too. If I smell that now, I'm still like, oh, I don't like this smell. Because it just kind of made the first scent like even worse to my pregnancy nose that could smell everything. For some reason, the front office at our school, there was some plug-in in the front office. I don't smell it anymore. Like, I don't think it's like that the front office at our school was dirty or anything like that. But I think that there was air freshener in there that I could not stand. So when I had to go to the front office, I would hold my breath. Because I was like, there's something in here. There's a flower. So something is in here that I could not stand. Also, my classroom, which was very unfortunate. My classroom just had a smell. I don't know if it was the art supplies or something in the ventilation system that I would walk in and be like, oh, I couldn't stand the smell. I had to have air fresheners in my classroom to help with the smell, but even then, like, I didn't like how those smell either, so it's just a lose-lose situation. my body oil. You know, the body oil, I'll put it on the screen, but the one that everyone gets for pregnancy that helps with stretch marks, which I believe is such a lie, or at least it didn't help me. I hated the smell of this. When I bought it, you know, as soon as I got pregnant, I was like, oh, this smells good. I didn't realize that smells turn on you so fast, and something that smells good can smell so bad. Like, it could have a good scent, but if you smell it too much or if it's too strong, it's awful. And I could not stand the smell of this oil. I would have to take breaks from it, and if I put it on my body, I'd be like, oh, this smells so gross. And then I was like, why did I buy an oil that has scent? I knew my sense of smell was going to be strong. I thought I was going to enjoy the smell, and since then I have been using oils that have much less scent or no scent, because your sense of smell is just so strong. And my prenatal gummies, I got the, I don't remember what they're called, the prenatal gummies that are very popular. They started to make me gag. They started to make me nauseous after a while. I got them because Carissa something here on YouTube, she ate those, and I was just like, oh, they seem like a good prenatal, they're recommended, and they're gummies. Like, gummy, who doesn't want a gummy vitamin? Like, that's probably easier than swallowing like a big old vitamin. No, I had to stop taking them for a while because they'd make me gag. How my body changed and my emotions, I stopped fitting into my clothes at 6 to 10 weeks. I've seen women go so much longer in their clothes. I, like 6 weeks, couldn't fit into my jeans. Or they were like getting really tight. And then 10 weeks it was like nothing fit me. Which I thought was pretty crazy. I thought I was gonna last in my normal clothes longer than that. And it's hard. It's hard finding pregnancy clothes that are cute or that are like your style. Because I don't think any of my pregnancy clothes are my style, but they fit. I think I had my first like emotional breakdown over my jeans because I was going to work and I just wanted to wear my jeans. And I just started crying. I told Tyler, I was like, I want to fit in my jeans. Like, why can't I fit into my jeans? And then I found that I fit into his jeans perfectly for like 2 weeks. I grew out of them so fast, but I was like, okay, this is fine. I can wear like his jeans. And they were just like, you know, long, but the stomach, like everything else fit. And I was like, oh, perfect, I'll wear these for the whole first trimester. And it was like, no, it might have been 2 to 3 weeks that I could wear his jeans, and then I was out of them. I was more emotional, but I was not grouchy. I have not been grouchy throughout my whole pregnancy, which I'm really glad for my loved ones that I'm not like that. I've actually been a very chill pregnant woman. Like, my family members have said, like, you are more chill than when you're not pregnant. Tyler has told me so many times, like, you're such a happy pregnant woman. He's like, you're so, like you are so much more yourself when you're pregnant. I was like, oh, that's like so sweet. Like, I'm so glad that I became, I don't know, like a better version of myself. Like, if I'm not grouchy and irritable, I'm so glad, because even if I were, I know he would deal with it because I'm pregnant. Like, he would accept it. But I'm so glad I don't have to be so irritable for him and for my family. I have found so many, like, everything funny, especially I think in the first trimester it was really strong. Like, just everything makes me laugh. I feel like first and second more, but I would just crack up at videos. Like, I would look at videos on TikTok and Instagram and just laugh and like cry. And then Tyler, my husband, is very funny. He's like the funniest person ever, and he would make me laugh and laugh and laugh. Like, it was so jolly. Which was another really good symptom. He's like, this is the best like symptom that you've had. Some things that were negative, my motivation just like plummeted to do anything. Like, even things that I love to do, I didn't want to do anything. Because I was so tired, I would just like be on the couch and lay down and not even want to read, do art. I wouldn't even want to be in this room where I create things. I would come in here and it would like almost make me nauseous. It was very strange. I would come in here and be like, I can't deal with this room. I can't be in here, because it felt like too much. And that was a really hard part of pregnancy in the first trimester, was like accepting that rest is just necessary and like don't want to, and that you're not going to have energy or the motivation, at least for me, for this pregnancy, to do anything. And I looked it up because I was like, what is like am I missing a vitamin? Like, why do I feel so unmotivated? And I think it's progesterone. The rise in progesterone can make women just very unmotivated. It can make you feel all the feelings I was having, just like being kind of sad that I wasn't like myself. It was a hard thing to accept, but also just hoping that it wasn't going to last through my whole pregnancy, that I wouldn't want to do anything throughout my whole pregnancy. I was like, this is 9 months of not wanting to read, not wanting to be creative. Like, I wanted to want to be creative. But thankfully it didn't last forever. And I didn't want any pressure on my chest or my stomach, which was kind of hard because, you know, you have your small bump and you want, like, Tyler would put his hand on my bump and it would hurt, like just the slightest bit of pressure, and I would tell him like, I'm so sorry, but it hurts my stomach. So it was very strange that just any pressure, like right here, anything there would hurt. And it's just the changes in the body. Like but I would feel kind of bad. I'd be like, I feel like you can't touch my stomach, but it's so uncomfortable. And you know, I grew out of clothes, but my body didn't really change like a ton first trimester. It was more the motivation is what I had to accept. Like, first trimester was accepting that I had to rest. And I took my test on December 27th. And so it was after Christmas. We just moved into our house. It was like the second day in our house. So it was quite a funny thing. Like, we move in, spent one night, and then the next day I took a test. So it was like so many things happening at once, but exciting things. So first trimester is when you're supposed to be the most nauseous and the most tired. And then second trimester comes and you're supposed to have all this energy. All the videos say it, and it's a lie for me. So I would say, don't believe everything you see on TikTok or YouTube, because every pregnancy is different. And I think that they were all just saying like, second trimester, yes, like you feel great. I felt so much worse my second trimester and learned that that is normal for some people. Now, I'm so glad for people that hit the second trimester and everything's great, but that wasn't me. And I was really disappointed because I thought as soon as I hit, what is it, 12 weeks? 12. Yeah, I think it's 12 weeks, 12, 13 weeks. I was like, I'm gonna feel amazing. And that was not the case. And again, every pregnancy is so different. My next pregnancy will be different to this one, but I expected to be like everyone else and have all the energy in the world. So for my second trimester, that's when the nausea hit. That's when smells would make me gag. Seeing something gross on the TV would make me gag. If I heard someone else gag, I would gag. I threw up more in my second trimester than my first. There was less burping and less acid reflux, and I think it's because I figured out how to eat for my pregnancy. I learned to like not have all the spicy food in the world because I love spicy food, and I had to eliminate it. And I wasn't having coffee, so I was eliminating so much acid from my diet that I think that really helped. But I threw up more. Something that has still continued, has died down quite a bit the past few weeks, but having an upset stomach after breakfast, no matter what I ate. I would have to get up and eat breakfast, which is also not me. I intermittent fast. I don't need to eat breakfast. I eat lunch and dinner normally, like maybe a snack for breakfast, but I don't like eat a hearty breakfast, and I've had to my whole pregnancy, which I'm looking forward to not having to eat breakfast, honestly. But no matter if I had a green shake, if I had yogurt, or if I had a more like hearty breakfast of like waffles with syrup, no matter what I ate, I could just have fruit, an apple, and I would feel sick. But I couldn't not eat breakfast because that would also make me feel sick. So it was like I had to eat but feel sick afterwards, and I knew I was going to. But my upset stomach stopped at night, which was really good because I was able to sleep better. I would rather have the upset stomach in the morning. It would be like first period, that my stomach I would feel sick. And I was still tired. I would fall asleep at school during my lunch, which is like funny. I would just like lay down on some chairs and like knock out. And I started to get out of breath, started to run out of room, I guess, in my chest, my lungs, and started to, not as bad as I am right now, but I started to have loss of breath. I couldn't breathe as easy. Now I will say, for being sick in the morning and at night, I probably could have thrown up less. I would have thrown up less. Because I think I threw up like 10 times second trimester, and some of them were really bad throw-ups. But had I just taken the medicine that my doctor prescribed me, because I told him like I'm starting to get nauseous, he's like, oh, take this. Had I just taken that and taken the Tums, I could have spared myself so much grief. I was just stubborn. I thought you shouldn't take anything during pregnancy, and I was wrong, because even though I was not the most sick pregnant woman, having an upset stomach in the morning, had I just taken my medicine, I could have been so much better. I could have had such an easier time. That's how I see it. Like I could have just, like I don't think I've needed the medicine to function. Like I've seen some women need it. Like I was fine, but I could have been better. And I don't know why I was so stubborn. So that mistake I will not make. Second pregnancy, I will take what my doctor tells me to take, because I take it now and I feel so much better. My stomach did start to get itchy, a few headaches, but I want to say like it was like 2 days of just like a constant headache. No, I had another day. I think I was just tired the second time, like I hadn't had enough rest. And I had maybe like 3 bad headaches, but even then nothing that was like I was in so much pain. It was just inconvenient. Nothing that I thought was worth like telling my doctor or taking anything for, you know what I mean? My food cravings and aversions, those aversions changed second trimester. So I still wanted apples, I wanted salad, I wanted Caesar salad. I've had so many packs of the HEB, the Doles? I don't remember what brand it is, but like a pre-pack, like you mix it yourself, Caesar salad. I've had so many of those. They're so good. I wanted the crunch and the freshness, but salty. And still pizza. And then sometimes I would crave random things like cake. I think I've craved cake like twice, or like, but even then, like that's not like a crazy craving. But my aversions got so much stronger. Chicken. I already don't like meat. I could very easily be a vegetarian. I grew up vegetarian, so I've never loved meat. Like my husband is a carnivore. He loves meat. His whole family, they're carnivores. But I could not even think about chicken without feeling sick. So chicken left our house. At one point, I accidentally purchased chicken from HEB, like you order and they bring it to your car. I accidentally purchased it, so we ate it. Well, I did not eat it, he ate it. And he was very sweet and like prepared it when I was not around. If he ate any meat, I would have to leave the room because it was already like heated up in the kitchen, and he would eat it in the kitchen, so the smell was all there. For chicken and sausage, those were the two meats. So sausage, not as bad. I didn't like the smell, but the chicken would make me gag. So he prepared chicken and it was in the fridge, and I just got water from the dispenser in the fridge. I could smell the chicken through the dispenser and I gagged. If I opened the fridge, I would gag. So there was like no chicken, which is unfortunate for him, but he understood. I would still make him sausage, like that was fine, but when he was eating it, I would leave the room, and then when I would come back into the kitchen, I would spray the whole kitchen so that the smell would leave. Still strong smells. Coffee a little bit less. I would notice that his coffee in the morning wouldn't make me feel like, oh, yuck. But the lunchroom at our school, my classroom is right in front of the lunchroom, and I hated the smell of their lunch. And I don't notice it anymore, like this semester, but last semester, oh my gosh. I was a hall monitor during the STAR test, and they would be cooking their lunch when I was monitoring the hall, and I would try to monitor as far away from the kitchen as possible. I'm sure the food is fine. Like was just me. I could not stand the smell of the food. But, and again, I'm already like, I don't like meat. I'm not a food. I love food, but I don't like to smell food. Like it's weird. It's kind of hard to explain, but I think food is gross. A lot of the time, food is gross. So to smell it for like 3 blocks straight for like 6th grade lunch, 7th grade lunch, and then 8th grade lunch, I would be, oh my gosh, I started wearing like a mask, like COVID mask, because it would help with the smell. And I would tell people like I'm not sick, like I can't smell the food that they're about to eat. My body and my emotions, I did start to cry for some small things, like even things that didn't even make sense. Like I was gonna go on a walk. Well, okay, maybe that does make sense. I was tired and I was gonna go on a walk because you should walk while you're pregnant because it's healthy for you, and I was so tired. And I went to Tyler and I was like, I'm gonna go on my walk, and I was crying. He's like, do you want me to go with you? I was like, yes. And I was crying. And then I think I even cried during the walk too. Like my emotions were kind of all over the place sometimes, not daily. I will say though, my job last year was pretty tough, and sometimes I would come home feeling pretty emotional just from my job. So I did get stretch marks in this area. My stomach did grow a lot, well, what I thought was a lot. And I did get a little bit more motivation. I don't remember what I started to do in the 2nd trimester, but I started to feel a little bit more like myself, especially more towards the end. I didn't feel as unmotivated. But I think 2nd trimester was more accepting. I guess 3rd and 2nd trimester. I'm gonna say 2nd. More accepting the body changes, like the stretch marks on the legs, because I have a lot of stretch marks on my legs. Stretch marks here, like just feeling overall bigger and moving slower. Just the physical changes I feel like were what I had to accept in the 2nd trimester, which was hard. It still sometimes is hard, but has gotten so much easier 3rd trimester, I'd say. So the 2nd trimester started off really tough and started to get better towards the end, but definitely was more sick beginning of 2nd trimester than first trimester. And even people, like I threw up at school and the nurse was like, "You're still sick?" I was like, "Yes, I'm worse now than I was before." And she was like, "Oh, I was too." So it is normal. It's like, wow, I feel like you don't see that. Like everyone just says second trimester is like great. So some things that helped with being pregnant first and second trimester was definitely accepting things, like accepting that I was going to be on the couch and have so much more TV and just screen time than I normally would, because I struggled with that. I felt like I'm being lazy, like I should be doing all of these things, I should be working out all the time, and that's just not realistic. It was not realistic for me, so I had to be okay with, I watched Chopped, which is funny because like they're cooking food, but I just watched so much TV because I was so tired, and had to just be okay with it and just accept that I'm not being lazy. I'm growing a baby and I need to lie down. Going to bed early. I am a teacher, and when I would teach in the Valley, I would stay up until midnight reading or making art, doing things because I didn't want to go to sleep, and I would still wake up super early and be tired. But I would go to bed so early, like at 9:30, and just accepting that right now that's what I have to do. Not making as many videos, that's hard, and not reading as much, like not being as active in my, channel that I wanted to, but just accepting it. Accepting the weight gain, because at the beginning of my pregnancy I started weighing myself because I don't want to weigh too much. I don't want to gain too much weight, and quickly stopped weighing myself. I was like, okay, this just does not matter. Not fitting into my clothes, not as active, and that everyone's journey is different. I had to learn to not take everything that I saw as like fact, or that that's how it's going to be for me, or that, there are some women that work out throughout their whole pregnancy and they look great. And I realized that that's not my journey, that I was not going to be able to do that because I was so tired. And not to say that they're not tired, like they work through it or something, but it was just not what I was going to do. I felt that I needed to rest. And maybe my second pregnancy will be totally different, and I'll be like weightlifting and be like super fit. I don't know. But I don't think that's very realistic for a majority of women. So when I would see these women on TikTok and on Instagram being pregnant and being so fit and so healthy and barely gaining any weight, I felt like that's what I needed to be. Like I needed to be that way, because prior to being pregnant I would run and I felt that I was pretty healthy, and that's just not how it was, and that's okay. Tums, Gatorade, and apples were my saving foods. Gatorade, I did start by drinking just normal Gatorade and then switched to Gatorade Zero because I think I did not need all that sugar. And I think it's more acidic as well. But apples for sure were the food that like really, really helped me. And I so far have had a very healthy pregnancy. My biggest concern that my doctor had is that I gained too much weight. So I have eaten a lot of carbs and not as much protein as I should be eating. But I would try really hard to get protein in other ways, like Greek yogurt. Even like if I'm gonna have a carb like pasta, I would get like protein pasta, protein shakes, protein bars. That's been my big protein intake. Have been like protein bars, protein shakes, and then protein chips. Like I try to get protein in other ways, but I was not going to eat like a chicken breast. When she told me to eat like fish and chicken, I was like, are you insane? There's no way I'm eating that. So I know that had I eaten a lot more protein, I probably would have gained a lot less weight, but I thought there has never been anything wrong with my blood work. My blood pressure is super good. Like I think I've done a pretty good job being healthy and still moving and stuff, like maybe not working out, but like walking and stuff. That, yes, I'm eating too many carbs, but just too bad. Patsy, no. I was really offended when the doctor told me that. I don't think they should tell pregnant women that they're gaining too much weight. So I think I've gained like 60 pounds, but it's okay. Now, my third trimester. I was told by everyone that just wait until the third trimester because you're going to be miserable. And, you know, I was already pregnant during the summer, which everyone was like, oh, it's going to suck being pregnant during the summer. And I was like, I don't know, I think this is actually a good time to be pregnant because then I get my baby in the fall, like right before all the holidays, and I don't have to be sick during any holidays. So I guess that kind of jumping around, but I like being pregnant during the summer, just saying. I got to be home during most of my third trimester on break, summer break, and I thought that was just such a blessing. I'm so grateful that I got to lay down all summer. That I really enjoyed. So I didn't personally like when people were like, oh, it's such a negative thing to be pregnant during the summer. I'm sure maybe it was for them or for people they knew or something, but I personally had a really good experience being pregnant during the summer. And I have had a great third trimester. It has been my best trimester, which I know I don't think that's normal because everyone said it was going to be awful. But I have been less sick, less tired, way more motivated to do all the things I wanted to do. Like, I feel like I got my pink back in the third trimester. And maybe that will change once I'm postpartum. I don't know if I'm gonna feel the same, or I still have 2 weeks. Maybe next week I'm gonna be like feeling awful. I don't want to think that way. I want to, be positive. I think that's a big part of pregnancy for me, was staying positive, not just like, okay, I guess third trimester is gonna suck no matter what, it's gonna be terrible, because it's been the best. Now, I will say my symptom that has been really tough is the swelling ankles and feet, because it's hard to not be able to sit for too long or to stand for too long because my feet hurt. But I'm working on it, I'm managing it. So that is tough about the third trimester, is the swelling, I will say. So I would say just don't believe everything you see online, that your second trimester is going to be the best, that your third trimester is going to be the worst, that you're going to be sick all the time, or that you should work out all the time. Like, I wish I had not seen so much negative information in my pregnancy. I wish I would have just gone on my journey and not been influenced by so much. And I think I've gotten better, a lot better at that. Just being like, hey, I stopped watching so many videos that were not positive for me. And also maybe not even following people that are positive but just have like really good pregnancies where they're like so skinny. And I'm like, okay, I think for me I need to not watch this, because then it just makes me feel bad. Because I've gained a lot more than they did. To just have your own journey. And that's not to say to not listen to like anyone. Like, I've gotten a lot of good advice from people that have given me like positive advice, or maybe warned me about some things. I was like, oh, I didn't know that. But just to not let it consume you like everyone else's information. And that there are positive pregnancy stories out there. There are, because I've had a really good pregnancy and I've had a good third trimester, and I'm hoping for a good delivery. I guess we'll find out. But just, I don't know. It's not all bad, you guys. And I don't know if it's just for the views or whatever, but I think we're just taught that it's all bad. My biggest help during my pregnancy has been my husband. He has been so amazing. I mean, I already knew that he was the best man in the whole world, but during pregnancy, he's been so sweet, like so accepting of my crazy brain and my food aversions, and he has been so supportive of like anything I want to eat, oops, one of my lights went out, it's okay. How I'm feeling, like he has not that I expected him to, but he hasn't been like judgy or you know, hasn't been negative at all. He's just been supportive. If I started crying for no reason, he would just like, what's wrong? And he would try to make me laugh. And if I wanted a certain food, he would go get it for me. And he's helped me out so much with things that have become more difficult, or if like the dishes would gross me out, he would do the dishes for me. He's just been so sweet. And I know that that's been such a big part of me being so positive during my pregnancy, is that I have him. And I'm so grateful for that. And when the doctor said that I needed to lay off the carbs, you know what my husband said? He said, baby, you eat your carbs. When I was feeling so bad and crying because I felt guilty, he was like, eat your carbs, babe. He's like, I mean, you could try to eat more protein, but he's like, but then have your carbs, like, it's okay. And he was like, I think she's wrong. And that was the best thing he could have said to me, because I felt so self-conscious after being told that. And, you know, also seeing my body change, I was like, oh, she's right, like I am gaining too much weight. And he would just tell me all the time how beautiful I am and how great a job I was doing. I had this one day when I was on the couch, so tired, just like laying down, falling asleep. And he looked at me and he's like, you are doing such an awesome job. And I was like, oh my gosh, like I'm laying here feeling just tired and worn down, and he sees that, like, that it's hard, that it is tiring. And he told me I was doing such a good job, and I'm never gonna forget that. And he's said things like that throughout my whole pregnancy, but that one just like really stuck in my brain, because I was like, yay, I am doing a good job. And just today, no, it was yesterday, he said, you are the perfect pregnant woman. Like, just with my positive attitudes, I would just say, just try to be positive, and I hope that if you are pregnant, that it's going well, or if you're gonna become pregnant, that you have a positive experience. Because I know other pregnancies could be so much tougher. I have people in my life that were sick so much, or had complications, things like that, but I wanted to give my experience and to remember this. And I know I've been talking forever, so I think I'm going to like end it here, but I am due in 2 weeks. I do want to continue to document this and see what happens when I deliver. I'm very excited. She could be born on the 30th or 31st. We're gonna see, but it's very exciting. I hope you enjoyed listening to me ramble for, I don't know, it might have been an hour, I guess I'm editing, Jay will see. But thanks so much for watching. If you don't know what to comment, you can comment the baby emoji. I guess I'll find a specific one, but the baby emoji for this video. And I'll see you in the next one.